Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coming In Hot. John is back with me because he set up a speak pipe. Okay. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Speak pipe. And I just thought it was the coolest thing because the one thing about social media, again, you build the most incredible community. You have some really long standing relationships and friendships, and yet you've never even heard their voice. You've never even had that relationship. So we thought it'd be really fun to have people call in questions so we could actually hear your voice, get to know you, and that we could answer them here on the show. So that's what we're doing today, and we're really excited. So John is here to help me answer some questions from you guys, and we're going to play the question, and then we're going to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, John.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, let's get started. Jackson, can we get question number one?
Question number one, here it is.
Okay.
Hey, so love you. We have so much in common. I'm so excited that I can ask you a question, you and John. Okay, so me and my husband are pretty much the same age as you and John. He's been in a career, in the hospitality career, and I've been a stay-at-home mom doing different things at home. And we are now looking into starting our own business together so he can pull away from working the traditional 9 to 5 and so that we can spend more time at home with our kids and traveling. Now that our kids are grown, some are still at home. We have grandchildren now. So we just want to live that life. So what is your best advice? Like, how do we start something, and how do we start learning how to work together as a couple, starting our own business together? So would love to hear back. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this is awesome.
This is wait, I love this. This is really fun. And thank you for the question. We really appreciate you. And I'm going to say, this is amazing. I'm really proud of you. I'm just going to say that out loud. I'm really proud of you for wanting to take things into your own hands, and you guys, digging deep and talking and realizing that you want to spend more time together and maybe changing things and evolving and trying something new and taking this chance. I think it's really cool. John, why don't you start? Because I think you have great advice. I'll start with, how do you work together?
I think the first thing is you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. You have to understand what your strengths and weaknesses are, both of you, and then what you really both like to do and don't like to do. Because that was with Caroline. I knew what she liked to do. I knew what her passions were with fashion and the motivation, or just being a friend to people where they would talk to her and she'd give amazing advice and being off the cuff. That was really good for her to figure out what it is that she liked to do. For me, I really like the technology behind the scenes, pulling things together, building the business.
You like startups
I
too.
like startups. I've always liked constantly learning new things. So we married
and tech.
it. Yeah,
you like all the new tech.
Yeah, and we married it together, where it was what she was doing, and this is why I could come and work with her, because what she liked, I wasn't good at, and what she didn't like to do, I was good at. And that is what you need to find. And then find something where you have a common goal and set that. For us, like Caroline always has wanted a show. She's just loved it, and I just see
Since
with
the
her,
day we met.
you're right, and you had done acting and other things, and it's like, you have such great things to say. I want to be able to support her to get what she wants. So that's our shared goal, to be able to put out there, and I can act as a side character. Sometimes main character, coming in hotter with John, But understanding that is really important. And then how you work together, because you'll spend more time together. Things you should say and not say, learn those pretty damn quick. Remember, one negative thing needs like 10 positive things to go on both sides of it. So just constantly reinforce, but then how you work together.
To jump on that, just because I think it's important what you're saying. You guys are married, you have kids, you have grandkids, right? So again, you have an understanding of how each other kind of ticks, right? So for me, it's really just being open and honest about those things. John and I have definitely had some hard conversations where I'm like, hey, the morning is just not a good time to come to me and say certain things. I have to get on. I want to have a good headspace. I want to be in a good mood. When you come to me, either whether it's finance or bringing up a problem or saying, hey, let's improve on that for whatever reason, that just puts me in a negative headspace, or it just stresses me out. And again, being able to be honest about those things and have a real conversation about what works for you, what doesn't work for you, because if you are in the same home, you are working together, you do need to respect each other's needs, because like how John works, to be honest with you, is not how I work. He works better late at night. I work better first thing in the morning. At night, that's not when I feel like having conversations. I've been on all day. I've been talking all day. It's like being honest about, okay, what is that time that's good for you? Or when are you in a good mood? Again, setting a time that's specifically to talk financials. Let's just say you're not good with financials. You're not used to talking about those things. Then again, it could be an uncomfortable conversation. I think finances is always an uncomfortable conversation. So I think the more comfortable you can get with it and slow and steady, really talk about what your goals are. What do you really have? What is it that would make you really comfortable? Because again, people's heart is different. People's comfort level, what luxury is to everybody is different. So again, having a really understanding, because even John and I, we're very different on what we see as luxury or what we see as needs or just wants. John can be very easygoing and fly by the seat of his pants and travel, where like I'm definitely not as easygoing. It is harder for me. I don't feel as well. And again, it's having those understandings up front, I think really avoid some of the biggest arguments.
And while you have been married for so long and together for so long, you are going to learn new things about people based on how they work as well.
That's true, because we never worked business together.
No, we didn't work business together, in different perspectives. And there's intuitive, and then there's also experience, and there's also short-term thinking and long-term thinking. But I do think one of the hardest things is, things are great when they're going well, but it's when shit hits the fan is where you really, how do you respond to that? What's your game plan? What is your goals? Setting those, and what happens if you don't hit the goals? What are you going to do? You can't fire your spouse. Well, you can, but it just will
you're
create,
walking on thin ice.
So just knowing those, don't always think everything's going to be so great. Okay, have the conversation, put a plan together. Also, you are right. I had to self-reflect about how I would talk to you and engage with you and when I would talk to you. Just because it's in the top of my mind doesn't mean I should spit it out of my mouth, right? Mind to mouth isn't always good for you. And so when should I, if I have feedback, what is it? And so it's just like writing it down and setting a time, but we also all want feedback. Now, since she's the creative person, I don't like to critique her creativeness because it's what she does really well. I can provide some feedback, but I've got to be very careful. That's her line of business, just like I have my goals and strategies. And if I can explain and articulate what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, then she can provide feedback, but it needs to be set times where you talk to each other. And this is where you don't want to tit for tat or go after each other on things. You
and
have
I think
to
what's
really
hard too is
understand that.
it is the home, and you are married, and you have a lot of other things to discuss and talk about. So having that set time and respect for each other, because we still have to talk about the kids, we still have to talk about my mom, we still have to talk about school. We're still doing a million
Calendar
other things.
is your friend.
Calendar,
schedule it and
schedule. Taking that time, I think, to have that business meeting, but then have a separate time, maybe that's a family meeting, and like have things that are set. So you really have a differentiation of what's business and what's home.
Yes.
And I think, again, when it's all mixed in, it can get confusing. You can get stressed because, again, you're not normally talking to your wife as an employee.
No.
Right? Like usually.
Or boss.
Like the truth is.
Or coworker.
When John would
Co-owner.
be. Yeah, or coworker. Like when John was talking to people on the phone, he was always on the phone and talking to business persons and that. It is different than when it's your wife, and you can get a little edgy, or you can get a little cranky, or there's a lot of emotions when you're dealing with the person you love compared to a complete stranger that you're literally paying to do what you want. The wife may or may not do what you want, even if there's money involved. But you know what I'm saying? That it is an interesting dynamic. And I think the more you separate things and make them clear and have time for it to be family and have time for it to shut off. And I know with John and I, things that we've had to learn, feedback can't always be negative or improvements. That feedback does sometimes have to be positive or a celebration of what's been done or what's going on. We all need to hear positive feedback, and we all want to hear that you're doing good. And if someone's always coming in and telling you what you need to improve, you can definitely take that the wrong way, and you can definitely start getting defensive. So I think making sure, like what John said, anything that might be negative or an improvement, make sure that there's also time for being positive and what's good going on.
Yes.
And again, separating those conversations and setting time in work hours And when's your off time? When's your time to like hang out? Like for me, it's like, when's dinner? When are we just chilling outside? Like 11 p.m. to
Still
tell
have
me.
date nights.
Still have date nights. And like 11 p.m. is not the time to bring up like the email that came in that somebody said something. And I'm just like, wait, what? And that can cause a whole nother thing. So again, being mindful.
So know what you like, the type of business that you want to run, expectations of what it really takes to build that up and work together, setting the goals, also being honest around what you truly don't like to do. And if you both don't like to do it, know that you're both putting in that sweat equity and labor, and you can actually it can help build your relationship if you're both doing something you don't like, where then you become fortunate enough to hire someone who actually likes to do the thing that you don't like to do. But being honest around what you like and don't like to do, I think, is the number one thing.
Okay, so her second question was, how do they get started? Like, how would you start a business now?
I think the idea around what it is that you want to do, because there's so many different things you can do.
Well, for me, it's like, okay, he's in hospitality, right?
Yeah.
She was at home, and for me, it's always like, okay, what do you do in your everyday? Because you probably do something that you do every day, like whether you're an organizer, whether you do photography, whether you love to clean, whether for me, it's like whether you're always giving advice to a friend, whether you just love fashion. Again, it's just being honest with yourself of what do you enjoy to do that you really do every day that maybe isn't so hard to get started.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It's what your friends come to you for. It's what sets you apart. Like, for instance, so my mom does unbelievable crafts, but she will never charge anyone for it. And she can decorate things and
she will set up an entire party for an entire golf club.
Right. And she does it for free. And sometimes she'll even buy this shit. And I'm like, what are you doing, Mom? You're all the time and effort you put in.
And she's like, no one would ever hire me for this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Everybody would hire you for this.
She's 78. I'm like, just take pictures and show what you've done. And people would. Then she's like, well, what if they don't like it? I'm like, well, fuck, they're going to. Don't worry.
Yeah.
To do something together, you both have to enjoy it and have a shared goal. So get that down. You both want to be passionate about it. If you're not both passionate about it, then it's going to be a struggle.
And they want to be remote. They want to travel.
Right.
They have older kids.
So it needs to be something that's either online or
e-commerce, online,
or showing the different things that where you're traveling, and provide
start a YouTube, start an Instagram.
And again, being able to share across all different channels and media, and being able to talk about what you do is important. So figure out who the spokesperson is, who enjoys it, and just get started. And once you figure that out, just get started, and you'll see. And your customers
push
will
it every day. It's like, don't ever be ashamed of promoting it. Promote the shit out of it, and use social media. Provide advice, provide help, information, and post away, because no one's going to promote you or celebrate you or know how important it is.
Just think it's all future customers. So find what it is you're passionate about and just go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So good luck to you.
Yes,
you guys
amazing.
got this. Okay, Jackson, question number 2, please.
You guys, I love you guys. You are awesome. I have a boy going into middle school, and I am freaking out. Please tell me it's going to be okay. I'm a 53-year-old single mom, and I am scared as shit. Thank you.
I love you. That's amazing. First of all, you're badass. 53-year-old single mom, you got this. And I get it, because I was terrified of middle school too. Middle school for me, I think, was my hardest time. I was severely bullied. It definitely taught me every lesson I needed to know about kindness and positivity, but had to go through it. And I feared for my own kids. And I will say, if you've been following me for a while now, you know that I definitely struggled through middle school. My youngest skipped a grade in 4th grade, putting him as very young in a grade that, again, was mixing 3 years worth of kids. Like, it was like from 13, 14, and 15. So he was the youngest. He is definitely a little bit more unique and different in the sense that he walks to his own beat. He knows exactly who he is and what he likes. He's not into sports. He's not into necessarily what all of, when you're going to a really small school, what all the kids normally do is just play sports. He's very tech savvy. He's obviously highly intelligent, really speaks well with adults. So for us, I was really panicked about just him not being able to make friends and him not being included. And now with all the social media kids seeing everything and knowing everything, it was really scary to me. And I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and tell you that it's easy and everything's going to be perfect. I cannot promise you that. I think middle school is a tough time, I think, for everyone. I mean, it was for me and it still is. You know what I mean? So I do think it is for everyone. And I think it is an incredible time for kids to learn what they're made of, honestly. And I think all you can do is lay the foundation of confidence, of feeling good in their own skin, reminding them daily to honestly look in the mirror and remind them that they're strong and capable and smart. And truly, we can't protect them from things. The world is a tough fucking place. Me constantly protecting Finn, like no one's ever going to be mean to him, that's not going to help him. It is going to happen. So I think for us and for me, I had to stop putting my own insecurities onto him. I had to stop putting my own fears onto him because I was obsessing on it. If I'm going to be honest with you, I am a protector. I am a mama bear, and I have experienced it. So I know how bad it is, that I never wanted my kids to feel what I felt. So trust me when I say I was obsessed and terrified too. And maybe I even created a little of it because I was so obsessed with it. And I really was protecting him, and I thought I was protecting him, but I definitely put some of my own shit. I would bring things up a lot. I would ask the same question over and over again, which only put the idea in his head. He wasn't thinking about it. He wasn't worried about it. What I really noticed is that kids are quite resilient, and Finn wasn't noticing it. I was. He wasn't obsessing on it. I was. He wasn't scared. I was. So it was, again, trying to have a little self-awareness and change my perspective of what was going on. I had a lot of people tell me it's not about him, people liking him. I should just be worried about who he likes and him liking people and him finding his people, not people accepting him. And I thought that was a really interesting way of looking at it. And I think, because I tell women that all the time, like, you're picking him. He's not picking you. When it comes to a relationship, like, you need to like him. You don't bend and change to make them like you. And I realized I was like expecting that of Finn. He is very confident in who he is. And I think all you can do is set that foundation, remind them daily how strong they are. If you can, if you're friendly with some of the kids' parents, again, setting up those play dates. We went into a new school. I really didn't know people. But again, I think making that effort with anybody they get along with to just have that one companion, that one friend that's like, you've got that one stability. I don't think kids need 20 friends. I think they just need one good one. So I think a lot of it is us taking a moment to reflect, not put our shit onto them, not present it as fear and they're not going to be okay, because kids are resilient, they are strong, and until there is a real problem and they come to you with that problem, there really isn't a problem. So I will say is just fill them with love and affection, and the best that we can do, I think, as parents is keep uplifting them and filling them with confidence and keep reminding them that we might not be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay, but just be kind and positive, and hopefully that comes back tenfold. But middle school is a hard place and it's tricky. And I think because puberty is all different ages, they all change and evolve so much that it's a really tricky time, because it's a time that you really want to fit in, and most kids don't want to defend a kid because they don't want the wrath of the bully. So again, a lot of kids feel very alone, and everyone's just fending for themselves. Everyone's just trying to survive. So it's really not personal. It's just not his place. That's not his favorite place. That's not where he's like thriving the most and has all the friends. But he has a lot of support all around him that makes school perfectly fine for him, honestly. John, what do you think about it?
A couple things. One, find out what he's good at and that he really likes to do and he's really good at. Because having something that you are better than all the other kids with is important, because especially if there are sports, if it is debate, and get them involved in that if the school has it, and have him explore.
And if he does like sports, the outside school
right,
sports.
And then going also outside the school to make friends there, because school, again, it's school. You're not in middle school. You're not spending so much time.
I know a lot of Finn's friends. A lot of them were all really good friends with their traveling sport team friends. That's who they spent the most time with.
People outside, right? Because you're still having to drive them and set those things up. Mm-hmm. Two is I think the thing that we did to Finn that I wish we didn't is we labeled him as the smart kid because he was smart. And what happened is in middle school is when he started struggling because he wasn't smart across the board on everything he did, and everything came naturally until it didn't. And when it didn't, it was like, oh shit, I'm not the smart kid anymore. Because, for instance, we ended up having him tested and we found the areas where he is weaker, and it was the visual, it was the memorization, and he just was struggling on those things. And once we figured out why, it's like, oh, it made sense. So try not to label him, because then, or whatever label they have, try to avoid that, because then they use that as their own
and then
self.
If they don't have it,
right,
it creates an insecurity.
Right. And that was being the smart kid. So you just said you're a nice kid, you're the kind kid. Those are the labels you want, not that the smart kid or sporty kid, because that can backfire, as we witnessed.
Anything else?
No,
You said
that's
you had
it.
a third part. Yeah, just good luck. You got this.
Yes.
Jackson, question number 3, please.
Coming your way.
Hi, Caroline. First of all, I absolutely love your Instagram stories. I follow you religiously, and I've been shopping way too much. My question is, if you could suggest 5 jewelry pieces, staple pieces that every woman, or even a young woman in her early 20s and up, starting, what would those 5 jewelry pieces be she should have in her wardrobe? Staple pieces. Thanks so much, Caroline.
Oh my God, I love this question. That is so fun. And I love you. Thank you for calling in and asking. And thank you for the support. Okay, I think my top 5 jewelry pieces are, okay, for the wrist, a cuff. I think a nice big gold cuff. I've always loved a good cuff. And I like bangles. You know me, you know I like a jingle. So I personally think bangles go with every outfit, or a nice big gold cuff, and even all of that together, if you want to stack, is fabulous. And I think you can never go wrong with those pieces. Okay, I'm going to say for necklaces, I'm going to say a Cuban chain, I think is classic, and I think it just goes with everything. And if you just want to wear it alone, it's nice and thick and just makes a subtle statement, but it also can be worn within a stack. So I really love that. I think whether you're young or maturing, I think a tennis necklace to invest in, or even a solitaire, like a diamond by the yard, or a nice thin tennis necklace, whether it's faux, whether it's lab, or whether it's real, I think it's an incredible investment piece. I think it's a forever piece. And there is just nothing more beautiful than a tennis necklace. I really think it's like that classic, every girl wants that beautiful tennis necklace. And with that, I will say tennis bracelet or the diamond studs. I think it's the most classic thing that you can have. You can never go wrong. You will never get sick of it, and you can pass it down to anyone in your family. If I'm going to go a little bit further than that, I would say gold hoops. Definitely gold hoops, because I think they're great for the summer, great for going out at night, and they're great with just a jeans, t-shirt, casual. So gold hoops for sure, and then a diamond stud. I think those 2 things would be perfect to have in your collection. And then for me, with a ring, because I love a cocktail ring. I am a big cocktail ring on your pinky. That is my absolute favorite. If I had to pick one, I would do a nice stone, an enamel piece, something interesting. Large cocktail ring on your pinky, I think, is absolutely fabulous and just fun. So when you have something fun to go to, you've got that little pop of zhuzh. So I would say those are my absolute favorite pieces. So the bangles, the gold cuff, I would say a Cuban link, tennis necklace, gold hoops, diamond stud, and then a cocktail ring, if you can add that piece in. Those would be my top selects.
Sounds like you got birthday gifts laid out for the next 5 years.
Or maybe all in one. I'm just saying you deserve it all.
Of course. See, this is where you set the expectations up, and you're like, then when you only get one, you're disappointed.
But ladies, I just want you to remember to have fun with it. And whether it's fine, don't forget to mix your metals, mix your high and low, mix your real with your faux. Don't be afraid of lab diamonds. Again, have fun with it. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a little zhuzh. It's a pop just to add that sparkle to you.
What do you think about then try before you buy by buying something lower cost?
I really
style.
do. And I know people don't always, not everyone is for the dupes or the look for less or just the more affordable. But I think it's a great way before you're about to invest, if you are going to go for the fine pieces.
Test before you invest.
Yes. You test before you invest. You grab the Amazon one or you grab something, you try it on, see if it fits. Again, tennis necklaces and tennis bracelets, they come in different sizes. Tennis studs, different sizes. So again, trying things out and having fun with it and seeing what sits right on you and what feels good before you go invest. But again, I think those 5 to 7 pieces, I think are the classic, perfect pieces. Those are the things I would not get rid of from my collection. So I want to say I love you all. I think we're done, right? Do we have time for one more?
We got more.
Yeah, we
We
can
got
do
one
more.
more. We got one more. Okay, guys, we got
Maybe-
one more.
maybe a
Jackson,
couple.
hit me with it.
Hi, Caroline and John. Love you guys. This is Lori in DC calling. Also love Roxy and Rocco. How did you come up with their names? They're so cute. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Well, we love you too. And thank you for calling and asking. So Rocco and Roxy, my dream was always to have Pomeranians. It is my favorite dog. I just think it's the cutest. I love a fluffy thing running around. I just do. And with Roxy, wait, why did we do Roxy and Rocco? I think it was like at one point it was like Rocky.
Yes, it was going to be Rocky or Roxy or Rock, something like that. And whether we were going to get a girl or a boy.
Because I always liked the punk rock name. Like I always liked Rocco. I don't know what it was. I just thought it was like a fun, cute name for a boy. And then, of course, once you're saying Rocco, I think Finn might have said Roxy. And we were like, okay, that's really cute. And then we finally saw the picture of the dogs. Like Roxy, it was just such a Roxy. Like
we got Roxy the year before.
Yeah, Roxy was the first one. And it was a COVID dog. We got her during COVID. It was the best thing ever. And then when we got Rocco, he definitely was like a little crazier. He was like the black and white dog. And he looked like just a little bit more fun, like Rugrat. And he just felt like a Rocco, kind of like just like a little troublemaker. I don't know.
Sorry, all those Roccos out there.
I know. I just loved it.
Yeah.
I loved the name Rocco and Roxy. So, and then we also liked Rocky, the mix of the two.
Right.
But that's it. That's what happened. There wasn't a real rhyme or reason. It isn't from a movie or anything specific. We just kind of liked it. Okay, last question. Jackson, I think we have one more.
Yes.
Okay, here's another one, but a more serious question. Working together as a couple in a business that, Caroline, you moved forward with and John, you jumped in on to support and help grow. We'd love to hear a little bit more about that dynamic of what you all are building together. I'm in a business with my husband. I started the business. He's come in to my business, not in the social media world, but share some of the pros, the cons, the good times and the bad, shall we say, challenging in any event. It'd be fun to hear just sort of your real life experience working together. It's great to work with your spouse, but it's definitely also tricky too.
Oh my God, I love her. First, I just want to say thank you for calling. I love you.
I know we answered some of those in the other question.
But I think it's interesting. It's about, I think with working together, I think me starting it, because I think it is a different dynamic. It's really like you leaving your job. You were the money maker, the main money maker. You were the one working 24/7, traveling. And I think it is a little bit what she's suggesting, a little bit of like that role reversal and then having you come in. I think for some men, it would be hard. It would be a hard dynamic to, again, leave your position to go support your wife or go have her be the main person, the main breadwinner. Can be hard on people's egos, can be hard on a relationship. And I think it's just an interesting dynamic. And I think it is interesting because I think when I started, it has been weird, the role reversal in some ways, just because number one, I never worked in a business. I never did like a real business mindset, never had employees, never had to deal with that stuff. And it really started off when we started, it really was just a fun hobby. It really was something that John was working 24/7. You really were. He was working so much, you guys. And I was home with the kids. It was hard. I was definitely feeling frustrated and like I needed to do something. And John kept encouraging me. My friend Erin kept encouraging me. And I started the Instagram really as a hobby for fun. I can maybe get some free clothes. Maybe I'll have a little extra money to buy some things. And I never really thought, and I hoped and dreamed it would become all of this, but it really was like, how does it become all of that? And when I was able to grow it to a certain point, and then very much needed the help of John and everyone now that has helped to grow it and make it what it is today. And I think at that point, I have always been with somebody who has wanted to see me win. I think that's something that like we've never had that ego with each other. So I think that has something to do with it, that I think John is happy to support and see me thrive, where I think some people might be jealous, some people might be uncomfortable, right? I mean, let's be honest, men's egos is there.
And I think you have to understand the roles. I think people respect that, one, you have a goal, and my goal is to help make you successful. But again, Walt Disney would not have been Walt Disney without his brother, who is behind the scenes that you don't know that he was there. So just like as a couple, I will be behind the scenes to help you become successful. Plus I get to do some other things that I enjoy doing, and I enjoy supporting you. So it's knowing that and the role that you play, and you're all helping to achieve the same goal. You have to just be honest, and it's like, how do you treat him as in the role that he's playing? And could he just be outsourced and you could get rid of him, and I don't need you? What additional value is he bringing? And then if he wants to go play golf, you're supposed to be, oh yes, go play golf because I want you to be happy too. Right? That's exactly what you're supposed to say to me.
Golf's getting annoying now, but yeah, but it's true. It is something where, again, that's one place where I never thought I'd feel a little resentful or a little stressed. And it's funny, I was like, oh, I can understand why husbands get pissed.
We're dependent on you, just like you all were dependent on me.
100%.
And so this is that, what do you do together? And I think it's having shared goals, not it's one versus the other. What are you trying to accomplish? What's your role? What's your objective? Because if I'm going to cut out on a Friday and go golf, or Wednesday, did I get my stuff done? Did I get Jackson the podcast episodes? Did I do the things that I said I was going to do? And then you get to control the timeline. So that's what's so valuable, is you get to set what those goals are and align on them, and then go have fun. Don't work all the time. Have your fun too, and being open and honest about that. Having your own separate lives too. Go out with the friends. Go do those things, because normally you'd have an 8-hour day away from, or longer, away from your spouse. Well, now when you're working with them that long, you don't have to go out to dinner together. Go enjoy time with other people. Go do those things separate, because abstinence makes the heart grow fonder. Abstinence does too.
I mean, maybe too. But I think
or
too,
absinthe.
But I think
maybe that does too.
That just makes you forget about your partner. But I think it's also what? It's like but I also think it's also the financials. It's interesting once the opposite person is the one that you're depending on. It's having those honest conversations and those open conversations, because it is tricky.
Definitely less stress.
John is way less stressed. Now I'm the stressed lunatic 24/7. And it's funny, I now kind of understand what he was going through. Yes. I even understand some of the resentment maybe he had, or even some of the stress.
You what you were going through as well.
And now I'm stressed out of my mind. And it's funny, this reversal, but we at the end of the day still end up with the same goal, and we still want the same things. And again, we're both working towards. And I think it's being very honest about what you're both doing, the work you're both putting in. Because again, it's easy to point fingers. It's easy to want to blame somebody else. But again, I think if you have the right same shared goal, and you're both are working towards the same thing and want to see each other win and happy, then I think it's actually unbelievable to be able to work together.
Choose happy.
Remind
yourself that every day.
Every single fucking day.
And more positive than negative comments.
Always.
Avoid the negative comments.
And spoil your wife. Make sure she can buy whatever she wants.
Spoil your husband.
Okay, we're done now. We love you all. Keep calling in, because this is so fun. I'm obsessed, and I cannot wait to hear more questions and hear your voices. So thank you for calling in. We really appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Leave a comment, a like, a follow, and of course, any topics you want to discuss in the comments. So again, we'll see you next week. Get up, get dressed. We love you. Bye.